I was, everybody, all of us got different stories. I'm similar in some ways. I grew up like in an alcoholic household, but I did have some moderate success as a musician, early in my life, being able to tour internationally, which was great and amazing. But it's actually really one of those, extremes where, I had these huge opportunities and doing great things, and I felt like I was on top of the world. And then, within a few years, my addictions and my, unresolved trauma from childhood surfaced in a bunch of different ways. And so, I got a DUI in, early 2000s, and then by mid 2000s, I was, had aggravated assault, deadly weapon charge, and battery charges, and looking at, some serious time. And luckily, I had good representation. So that was one of my first, lessons of the criminal justice system, was that having proper representation can definitely get you out of situations. And so that was like a big learning curve for me. And I was lucky. I felt very, very fortunate. Very fortunate to be able to, have this opportunities. And so I learned a lot while I was incarcerated. And school was never anything that I ever thought, even though my mom, was a college graduate, and she was kind of like one of my inspirations. And she was always encouraging me to go back to school, and I never thought about it. But it was actually, my mom, my partner, and like one of my former drug dealers was just like, hey, you should probably do something with your life. So I decided, plus being in sobriety, I've been sober for 14 years. Being sober, I was spending a lot of time reading anyway, so I was like, might as well find something that I'm interested in and read about what and get some kind of documentation that I'm actually reading about the stuff that I'm reading. So I joined, I've gotten a community college without any idea about what I was going to do. About 2 years sober out of jail, and trying to figure out what my plan was. But as time progressed, I really found a way, and basically academia and just getting an education opened up an entire world to me of a side of me that I didn't even know I had, and it enlightened me to all sorts of different ways of thinking and thought, and ways of conducting myself, and then also presented questions to me of like, well, this isn't talked about. Maybe I can find a way and shine some light on some of these subjects that I'm interested in, and that's what consistently kept me going, because I'm in a doctoral program now, and I never in a million years would have thought I'd been doing that. And I was actually in law school too before I got to this doctoral program. I mean, not to like flex on anybody, but I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like a well-known law school or anything. Because I wasn't sure. Actually, I applied to this program. Here's an example of like, just kind of,
law school just didn't
get through it. Yeah, law school is. Well, I mean, I applied to the PhD program here that I'm in now, and I didn't get in. So like, that's testimony to like, just continuing and being resilient and trying. And so I got into law school. I tried that, and then I decided I didn't want to do that, and I reapplied to the program I'm in now, and I got in the second time. So even if you don't make it the first time, like, if you have a vision and you keep going for it, like, you can do whatever, as long as you have a community that's going to back you up. You can do it yourself too, obviously, but like everybody's been saying on this panel, like, asking for help is huge, and finding a community that can help support you, because literally, I've always gone back to this, but each one teach one. We all do it together. Nobody's an individual. No person's an island. We're all in this together. We have to act like it. So it's been a huge blessing to be able to be part of these communities. And so now here I am, and proud to be part of this panel, and hope everybody gets something positive out of this.